baseball fans? Matt Nadell here of Baseball with Matt, along with the last ever 30-game winner in baseball history, Denny McLain. Hey, Denny, how you doing?
Good, Matt. How are you?
Good. All right, let's get started with some of these questions. So, in 1968, when you won 31 games, did you get any pitching tips from the last 30-game winners, Dizzy Dean and Lefty Grove?
No, I don't think so. Everybody pitches their own way in their own style, and I just happen to have the best pitching coach in the history of the game, Johnny Sain, with me. I didn't need much more help other than to listen to him, and listening to him was what it was all about, and doing the things that he wanted us to do, especially physically and certainly mentally, made everybody on our team a better pitcher. He certainly was the greatest pitching coach the game has ever seen. He never got a lot of credit. He didn't get as much credit as he should have gotten because Johnny protected his pitchers to such a degree that he would alienate the managers and management eventually with any club because he did not want to have his pitchers abused. So Johnny would only go along with the stroke for a while, and if he thought his pitchers were being abused, he would let the manager know. And of course, if you're going to scream and holler at a manager, whether with an open door or a closed door, you are going to wind up with an issue. Namely, you're going to lose a job eventually. But everywhere Johnny went, he produced 20-game winners. In Minnesota, he produced Jim Cotton and Glencat Grant and guys like that, and other teams. So Johnny was one of a kind. The game never, ever, I think, showed him the respect that it should have. But nonetheless, we know, and that's the most important thing.
Span and Sain and Hope for Rain on the Atlanta Braves. Excuse me.
Well, actually, it was Spawn and Sain and Pray for Rain.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Warren Span and Johnny Sain were two of the greatest pitchers in Braves history. Did you
one of the greatest 1-2 combinations in the history of the game until McLain and Lovis came along.
Yes, precisely. Did you ever talk about your 1968 pitching season with Bob Gibson's 1968 pitching season with Bob Gibson?
I don't know. We have a lot of fun with each other when we see each other at events and what have you, but I don't think we ever sat down and said this or that. And the only thing I used to tell Gibson when I used to see him a lot, I do shows with him every year, and the only thing I always tell him, I want to remind him, I said, oh, by the way, I had 22 by the end of August, or by the end of July, so I said, don't think that 22 wins is much of a season, and we just chuckle and guckle all the time about it, because I actually had 20 at the end of July. And I just used it, because Bob used to, they used to refer to Bob's ERA all the time, which was a very good ERA. But on the other hand, we had a lot of guys with ERAs of under 2.5, and a lot of guys in the ones. And Bob was a great pitcher. I mean, certainly was. Nobody will ever take that away from him. But during the 60s, pitching was never better. It'll never be as good again. And it's real simple as to why, because we had fewer teams and the talent was deeper.
Yeah, and in 1968, it was considered the year of the pitcher because the pitchers were so dominant. So why do you think in 68 that it was such a dominant year for pitchers? Why that year specifically?
I think it was just lightning in a bottle. I don't think it was dramatically over the top. Sure, you had a guy win 30, you had a bunch of guys in the ones. I think development's got a lot to do with it. And what I mean by that is our fathers had a lot to do with us growing up. Our fathers were there for us at an early age. Our fathers were all pretty good athletes. Our fathers had fought in World War II, and I think when they came home from World War II, they made a dramatic commitment to their families and their children. And my dad, who was a hell of an athlete, in fact, he was offered a contract with the Cubs at one time, and my mother said, you either marry me or you go play with the kids. And of course, he married my mother, which was the biggest break I ever had, because obviously I wouldn't have probably been around here without him. But anyway, that's what it was all about. And we kind of all matured about the same time. We all had very little time in the minor leagues. We all kind of developed over that 4, 5, 6-year period of time into the early 60s and the middle 60s. Then all of a sudden, you started to see things happen in 66 or so, 65, 66, and pitchers got caught on fire. But there's so many things, and pitching just got better, and guys threw the ball harder, and we threw more strikes. We had the philosophy that if you throw strikes, you will win ball games. If you don't, you lose ball games. And you want to get ahead of the hitter. The philosophy was never more adamant than it was with Johnny Sain. And Johnny Sain would just tell you from get-go to get down. Bottom line is, get ahead of them. And then flush two guys in a row, get two base hits in a row. You don't have to change anything. How many guys are going to get? Both guys are going to do the same thing. Not very many. And he was right. There's a consistency to pitching like the game has never seen in the '60s. And where the hell it went, I'll never know, because we certainly don't have the kind of talent that you would think we would have. With the kids bigger than we were, and all of the other things that they're allowed to do, working out and the way they work out 12 months a year. I mean, we had to work during the wintertime. We all had a job. And so these guys are very fortunate. But I think what our pitchers need to do in this era, they need to forget about pumping weights and develop themselves in the places that need developing. In other words, if you're a right-handed pitcher, you really need to develop the right side. If you're a left-handed pitcher, you need to develop the strength on the other side. And I guarantee you, if you do it right, you will increase your miles per hour by a dramatic number, and you will do some things in the game that you will not believe, including you'll throw strikes, a lot more strikes. You'll have a lot more confidence. But somehow, some way, somebody in these organizations is telling these guys, well, you had a guy 0-2, nip here and nip there and do this. Hell, listen, when you got a guy 0-2, he's the sucker. He's the guy in the hole. He's the guy underneath it all. You got to go get a guy when you got him 0-2, 1-2. You can't screw around. And our kids today, they do too much screwing around.
Ironically, in the 1960s, when you and Bob Gibson and all the other pitchers were doing excellently, Frank Robinson in 1966 won the Triple Crown in the American League, and the next year, Carl Yastrzemski won the Triple Crown as well. And in 1968, when you had 30 games, Yastrzemski won the batting title, but it was only a .301 batting average. So during that year, do you think Yastrzemski was the hardest out for you, or was there someone else out there who just couldn't seem to get out?
I didn't have much trouble with left-handed hitters. I was a high ball pitcher, and my ball moved up. That's the way I had to pitch. That's where my power was. So it didn't bother me. Left-handed hitters historically do not hit the ball up. They just don't at all. Right-handed hitters do, but left-handed hitters really don't. So if you stayed within the basic concept of pitching, you keep the ball up on left-handers and keep the ball down on right-handers. You had to win if you played with a pretty good ball club. You got to be consistent out there. You can't all of a sudden, because you go into Boston for the first time, poop in your pants because you look at the wall and say, oh my God, is that close? Yeah, it's close. But it's also very high. And a lot of guys, including myself the first time when I went in there, I altered my game and got my brains beat out. And after that, of course, I was lectured to by our manager and the coaches and everybody else. And you cannot go out there and start pitching a different way in a park like that. You cannot let the elements affect you. You must stay, as they say, as that old saying is, you take the girl home that you took to the dance. And when you get in trouble, you go to your best pitch, fastball, whatever it might be, and you take that one home, because that's what got you to the big leagues. Nobody got to the big leagues with probably 1/1000th of an iota. Nobody got to the big leagues without a fastball. Nobody. And that's what you got to go. When the dance starts, you got to go with the fastball.
So you think you had a pretty good consistency with all the hitters in the MLB, is what you're saying?
Well, I had five, until I got hurt, I had 5 pretty good years of success. I had great coaches, and I still tell everybody the honest to God truth. I played with the greatest baseball team that the game, I think, has ever seen, the 1967 and 68 Tigers. We had a team of all-stars. We had Bill Freehand at catching, Norm Cash at first, Dick McCullough at second. We had Ray Euler, who was just great hands at the shortstop, Donnie Ward at third base. We had Al Kaline in right field, Jim Northrup and Mickey Stanley in center field, Willie Horton and Gates Brown in left field. How much better of a team can you want? I mean, they were good, and they knew how to play the game. They never missed a cutoff man. They never missed a hit and run or a run and hit. They never missed a punting situation. They knew how to play the game. And once you know how to play the game with a bunch of guys who are athletically inclined, and they know, and they got that kind of talent, you're going to win a lot more than you lose.
Exactly, and in fact, your 1968 Tigers went on to win the World Series against the Cardinals in 7.
We did indeed.
So, you did play with Al Kaline, and he is a Hall of Famer, but do you have another favorite Tiger?
All of them. I don't have any bad ones. I mean, they were all heroes of mine. Bill Freehan is an 11-time All-Star. Why he can't go to the Hall of Fame, I'll never know. We had a bunch of good guys. We grew up together. We became men together. And those who are still around, we're still friends. We still see each other, and we socialize. So doesn't get any better than that. Here we are, 2015, and the guys that are capable are still around, and we still see each other. We have a good time.
At the end of your career and after, you did face some challenges, but what lessons did you learn that you would like to share?
Well, I've only had one humongous lesson in my life. I lost my daughter, who was 24 years old when she got killed by a drunken truck driver, and a kid driving some kind of a Chevy Blazer or some damn thing, no, pickup truck, and that's the lesson. That's the lesson in life, and the lesson in life is here for a fleeting moment, and if you don't enjoy it, and you miss the moments with your family, and you miss the moments with your socializing and the people that are around you, care about the people and respect the people around you, and life will stay good.
Live every day like it's your last. Very inspirational.
I don't think like it's your last, but certainly enjoy it. Enjoy your family. I mean, make sure you take count every day of your children, your wife, your grandkids, and anybody else that's a member of your crew. And the bottom line is, life gets a lot better if you got a good, solid, tight family.
That is absolutely true. Thank you for sharing that. Last question. So speaking of your family, and just you in general, what do you like to do now in your spare time?
Don't have much. I do about 240 appearances a year at the ballparks and dinner appearances and things like that, so we don't have much spare time, but that's what I do. I have a passion for the game of baseball. I've always had it, and it's just gotten bigger and better the last 15 or 20 years, and I enjoy what we do. So, the world is very good, and baseball has given us everything we have, both good and bad, but when you think about the bad, there's only been one bad moment. That was our daughter. The rest of it has been kind of a miraculous and terrific supersonic ride, and we've enjoyed every moment.
Denny, I could not agree with you more, and that's why baseball is America's pastime.
It is indeed.
All right, Denny, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and make sure you root for the Detroit Tigers in the 2015 season.
And send us a link, okay?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah, this link will be up in just a minute.
Okay, thank you. Have a great evening.
All right, you too, Denny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.